Welcome to HopexPodcast. Hi, I'm Praise Hopel. This new episode we talk about the life in the current world, not just in America, but all over the world. That's why it says life in the current world. We're gonna talk about the things that are happening, but it's not gonna be happening in 2020 alone. It's gonna be something that has been happening for a long time, like culture or the movement. It's gonna talk about some things that we give advice to people and how we can make this world a better place. It really will be an episode that will put your thoughts and your mind into the mode of you making a change. And it's not for us to make a change, of course, because people have tolerance of change sometimes, and sometimes they just don't. But I hope this episode helps you to understand and be positive as life goes on. So stay tuned. I'm Praise Opal. Hello, this is Praise Opal from HopexPodcast. Today we will talk about the life in the current world. And today, yes, I am here by myself, talking to the world, speaking to people all over the world, whatever, whoever, and whatever you are, and whoever is listening to this right now. We all know that the world has changed dramatically from traditions and culture and beliefs, hopes, our minds, our thoughts, the choices that we make, how we think, how things have been processed, the governments, how things used to be. If you've been in the world for more than 10, 11 years, and I just don't mean teenagers, even adults, you necessarily understand that the world has changed and people has changed with the world dramatically. Today I want to talk to people listening that no matter what happens in this world today, we are our own person, our own minds, and whatever we do, it's up to us to determine what we want to make for ourselves. The decisions that we make in our family, in our ways, either we're educators or not, either we work or we don't. For example, I personally myself remember so well 10 years ago that I had no idea what Instagram was, and that maybe Instagram will even come into existence, or I don't know the history to Instagram or how it started, but now we are here 10 years later. Instagram, one of the largest social media communicating platform in the world, that helps people to link and talk and interact all over the world. Just implicating lives and just helping people to communicate from far and long distances. Another example is our new graduates or the coronavirus. Who knows that 2020 will be a year of God knows what it is. The epidemic, the movements that's going on racial segregation, racial discrimination, coronavirus, the governments, the secrets, the links, the knowledge, and everything that we as human beings has learned about the government and each other. So much secret has happened this year that it's so I don't want to say insane, but it's so different that it's unexpected. Just if somebody has seen the future and tell us how 2020 would be for me and you, I don't know what else we could have done, because regardless of whatever plan we could have had, we will still be here. And I want to use this moment to say I am sorry to people that has lost their lives to violence in the movements, Black Lives movements and Black Lives Matter movement and Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and the fight against the government, secrets, politics, coronavirus especially has taken a lot of lives, Hurricane Laura, tornadoes, fires, and accidents, and everything that's possibly take anybody's life, disease or accident or anything that it is. I am personally, as Praise Hopel from Hopex Market family, showing my condolences, saying that I wish that this year had been better, and that I pray for every mother and fathers out there, cousins, nieces, nephew, friends, and loved ones, that the future should bring better things, and we have to believe that it will. So my prayers are going out to the world and my family as well, and my team workers, my teammates, my co-workers, my friends, and to the world. I hope next year and every other year that is to come is better than here. So still on the topic 2020 and the current world. To me personally, I believe that sometimes the universe communicates to people. And I believe that people fail to understand the communication and how the universe communicates to people and with people. I believe in God, and I believe that God communicates through the universe, even on our minds. We are just people with souls walking around in human flesh. I strongly believe that. And it's okay not to be a believer. It's okay not to believe in spirituality. It's okay not to believe in religion, whoever you are listening to this. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to say this is right and this is not, because we all have choices and freedom to be whoever and whatever we want to be. But regardless of whatever choices we make, there are so many things in this world that has become mysteries and mysterious that we can't even pinpoint what's really going on. I've had people tell me about the government and their action to kill off the human race or the population, or vaccines to demolish and depopulate people of the human race, this new generation. I've had stories of either government or people or some organization intoxicating food, water to take people's life. I've heard stories about a lot of things. But even though they are true or not, everything that people say has to have a claim and an evidence that's showing that it's real and it's actually reality. Speaking personally from myself, the world has not just changed through culture, because I clearly remember that culture has also changed through people. There was a time that people actually embraced culture, but now it's like culture is just something that's not even in the conversation anymore. When people talk about culture now and they try to embrace culture or their beliefs, it's like something always stands in the way of them saying, of other people saying that, oh, so you look like a clown because you dress this type of way. You look like that person because this is how you dress. For example, in African culture, they have different tribes, different traditions, and different ways of showing their beauty and their hair and the way they dress. And I have personally myself experienced people making fun of African culture and how people dress, like charcoal on their faces and big hats on their head, or them having different creatures, like gods, polytheistic gods. It's very hoping that people feel comfortable to make fun of other people's culture. But I'm telling you today that that is wrong. Because everybody has the right to make choices, the right to do as they please. But when it comes to pleasing and making choices, we just have to make sure that all the choices and pleasuring that we do are right and they are positive. We shouldn't have to do things that hurt each other. One way that I've seen culture change is that. Another thing about culture that I realize is some people have religion and culture, and some people make fun of other people's religion. No matter what people believe, it's their choice. Either it's God or nothing or whatever. Even though I personally believe in God and I do not believe in many gods or more than one God. But at the same time, whatever people do with their life, it's up to them to choose whatever they do and whatever they're willing to do. Another part of human beings that I've realized has changed over time in the world is the idea of lesbianism and gayism and bisexuality, or people showing off their sexuality to the world and being judged. Now, this is a hard topic to talk about, not the culture part, but people's sex. Because many people feel as if it's okay to say things just because the Bible says this or the Bible says that. But I want you to know today that the Bible is not the problem. People are the problem. We make decisions in our hearts, in our minds, and then we act on those decisions. We make assumptions and say this is how it is, this is how it was, and this is how it has to be. Now, not going against anybody or religion, but every man and every woman in this world is born with freedom, either enslaved or not. When you came out of a mother's womb or a woman's womb, you weren't in chains. You were born freely, and you have the right to live freely. And this is not colorism, this is not racism, this is not talking to a specific person or a specific culture. This is talking to the world and people that are actually listening. That we as human beings have changed over time so much that we start to imprisonate each other by the thoughts and the things that we say. We imprison each other and trap each other with the way we look at each other, with our eyes and our actions. And the most powerful things that human can do are two things: the actions that they put into act and the words that they speak. The things that we say are very powerful. This is why we have to be cautious of the things that we say as people. Our actions say so much about who we are than we actually think. Our actions is the real image of ourselves. But now people can fake actions. They can fake act. But no matter how much unreal that we act as human beings, there are many times that our real self will come out. And there's no way we can hide that. Know that your word implicates somebody. It's very powerful. We human beings hold power to create, destroy, make. The power to change things from ordinary to extraordinary. So you have to be cautious of the things that you say and how you say it. People tend to stick to this idea of, when my life is not going well, then I can do as I wish, or I can do as I please. But I'm telling you today that because your life is not going so great, does not mean it has to be hard for anybody else. Yes, life is hard. It's not easy living the world, paying bills, surviving, waking up in the morning and thinking that you have to pay your bill, or taking care of a child. Sometimes life can be depressing. But this is part of life. Things are always not going to be easy. but it gives no one the right to trap somebody else and imprisonate them, not just by their actions, even by the words that we speak. I've had a situation where a 12-year-old girl, she was bullied in school. And because she was bullied, she committed suicide. She jumped off the bridge, a 12-year-old girl. And it breaks my heart. Because while she was bullied many times, I feel like something could have been done by the people around her. But of course, they are kids. But when I was 8 years old, I remember standing up for people that are being bullied. But I can't speak for everybody else because people don't think the same and people don't act the same. And people have different minds and different thoughts. But at the same time, let us educate our children, not just to stand up for each other, but to do right. Because if those kids that bullied Imani has done right, she probably would have been here today. She probably would still be here today. But she's gone and nothing is done. Our parents fought for justice and nothing is done. A 12-year-old girl. This is how our actions can implicate each other. And this is the current world. The world that everybody suffer in some type of way. But it doesn't have to be this hard. Life is not complicated. It's not full of complications. People are complicated. People are full of complications. People are the reason why life and the world is the way it is now. Don't change your mind on what's right just because everybody else is doing what's wrong. Don't change your mind because you changing your mind will only make you to join the crowd and be part of the crew. But as long as we are born differently, raised in a different environment, in a different neighborhood, in a different life, in a different living, and in a different everything that we've grew up into, we can always be better than who we are. We can always show pleasure in a good way. We can always be nice, polite, say positive things to each other. We can make a change. We can make this world a better place. I believe that evil is around because during the day it shines very bright and the sun comes up and then we can see, and during the night the darkness comes and people tend to do evil things in the dark. This is how the world has changed tremendously because evil has been happening from the beginning of time. It's not new. Either the government or people, at the end of the day, whatever happens, it's made by the consequences and choices that people choose to do and lead this world. Once again, don't forget who you are and where you're from. Don't forget that somebody is watching you, and that is God. Don't forget that hard work brings by many things, not just money. But you can eradicate and put things together. Maybe through money, but your hard work says a lot about you and the audience that you have. Never forget that respect is number one thing that we can start off with today. I'm young. I'm not as intelligent as most people. But the little that I've seen in this world, that the world has changed dramatically from me by myself from age 15 and 14 or 14 till the moment. I'm telling you, I cannot believe what it's become. And it's scary. It's very scary that we have to live the way we live now. There are too many hate going on, too many injustice, too many principalities of negativity. and that people have done this so long that they've allowed it to overcome them. These words I speak today is not just for me personally myself, but this is for people that are struggling in the world. People that has hope and has given up hopes. People that want to love and are struggling. Life will always be complicated because there are people that have complicated lives and make it hard for everybody else. Life will always have a negative part to it, no matter how cleanse it could be, no matter how much clean it has become. Once the day comes and the darkness comes again, this world will always have something negative in it. But we just have to be cautious, and we have to do what's right. Today I call on the whole world, people that are listening, to at least make a change in something today. Not because I'm saying it, but because you know you need a change. Let us be better than yesterday. Let us love each other because love is powerful. Let us stick to understanding. Let us try. Let us just believe that we're gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be paradise, even though we know it's not. I am glad to speak to the world today. If you have any questions, you can drop your voice note or comment below and tell us what you think about this episode. The current world, the chaos, and everything that we didn't even talk about. Add on to it. Now know that we do not allow bullying on our comments. No curse word, no way of brutality or saying negative things to each other is not allowed. If you don't want to comment below and you want to share an idea or anything, you can email us at praisehopel@gmail.com or praisehopel@yahoo.com, or you can text us at 404-254-9722. You can also drop any messages on our social media platform, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are actually on 96 social media, so whatever media you go to, I'm pretty sure we're there. Just drop your message off there, or you can drop it off below, or send us an email. We would love to hear from you and the experiences that you have had within 10 years period. What is your experience? What have you been through? What are the changes that you've seen? Good, bad, negative, positive, whatever it is. Just drop your comments below or email us however you want to do it. Let us know what is going on with you. Tell us your story. Tell us the things that you've noticed. Many things I believe we didn't talk about in this episode. Let us know your thoughts, because this is what makes this podcast fun. People commenting will be a great joy to Hopex Podcast because it helps us to communicate. And sometimes we draw our topics from the things that people say. So you drop me your comments below really help us to be better, and let us have some fun and add fun to the things that we do. I'm Praise Hopel. Do not forget that our new episode comes up every other Thursday at 6 p.m. By 6 p.m. every other Thursday. Follow us on social media platform. Shoot us an email. We want to hear from you. Once again, I'm Praise Hopel, and thank you for listening. Come back again. Hey, I'm Praise Hopel from HopexPodcast, an encouraging, loving, positive, and inspirational podcast that helps anybody from all over the world. You can listen to us on every other Thursday. We have a new episode by 6 p.m. The old ones will be there and the new one will join in as well. This podcast has no limit to race, color, ethnicity, religion, and culture, or whatever you have believed in. These podcasts are for teens, teenagers, adults, elderly, basically all human beings. We would like to hear from you. Tell us your thoughts on our podcast. You can drop comments below or email us at praisehopel@yahoo.com or praisehopel@gmail.com. We hear that this podcast has helped a lot of people, and we would like to hear from you as well. You can comment, share, and tell your friends. At HopexPodcast, I'm Praise Hopel. Thank you. The episode Life in the Current World has helped me personally, even though I was the host. As I was speaking to people that were listening, I realized that many things that I said, I didn't even have the mind of saying it, but after I played it and listened to it, I realized that I learned something from myself. Do you ever feel like you have that moment that you just say some things and it makes so much sense, and then you go back and listen to yourself and then you think about it, then you go, oh, I did a very good job. That's how I felt after. And I'll be glad if everybody come in and just tell me how they feel about this episode that I personally just hosted and talked to people about. I learned a lot from myself today, and I'm telling you all, I didn't write it down. I just took the phone, just recorded, and just spoke. It's no edit or anything, and it's kind of like, I can't believe I had that in me this whole time. Wow. But I'm glad it came out. So I hope this episode helped a lot of people. I hope it helps you as a person. It's helped me, and it's helping me now. So don't forget that you can be a better person, and change is always intact. It's always replaceable with another change. It's possible. All things are possible. We just have to try. I'm Praise Hopel from HopexPodcast. Come back again.